Hey, kia ora! Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Hayes in Kansas. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling start to your Friday. We had another rude awakening this morning. 3:15, severe thunderstorm came ripping through here. It lasted till like 5 a.m. So again, we've got the suitcases under the eyes because of that, but it wasn't as bad as the one we'd had the previous night in the other location. So, move locations and still get severe thunderstorms at 3:15 in the morning. What is up with that? But that's okay. We got through it and we're safe. This one said, when I went on the weather app, it had the warning there stating that they were expecting half an inch of hail and wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. And I'm like, eek. But we didn't get any hail where we were. We were kind of on the outskirts of that area, but there was a lot of flash lightning, and they were talking about a lot of lightning between the clouds and the ground. And I always thought lightning went from the ground to the clouds. Who knew? But so it was a little harrowing, and poor Zeffie got a little upset and burrowed in and that sort of thing. But she's now, where is she? In her crate, catching up on her sleep. Again, I wanted to do this outside this morning, but it was a little windy. It still is windy. The corn's blowing, and every time I look out at that cornfield, all I can hear is that line from Field of Dreams: "If you build it, he will come." Yes, I keep hearing the voice every time I look out at the cornfield with the blowing in the breeze. But anyway, on to your challenges for today. We got some pretty cool ones, and some have come out of necessity as well. So your mindset, when you have some of those moments where you get really emotional or you're just feeling down, what do you do to pick yourself up? I usually have routines like slowing down my breathing, just being conscious of my breathing. Was a technique that I got taught by one of my mentors, was to just sit, close your eyes and just breathe, and just concentrate on the air going in and the air coming out, because you can control the rate at which you breathe and how deep of a breath you can take and how much you let out. And just doing that and being very conscious of it can actually help calm you down. Yesterday was a very emotional roller coaster day for me, completely unexpected. There was some stuff that came to light that I thought was dealt with, or I thought I was handling, and discovered that I wasn't, and it's what's been holding me back. And so I was sort of like, and I got off that call. I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I actually picked up this book, which I had purchased a while ago, Think Positive, Live Happy. It's a Chicken Soup for the Soul book. And so I just flipped it open and read one of the short stories. And these stories are short. They're like 2 to 4 pages in length. So very, very quick reads, but very uplifting stories in there as well. A lot of inspiration in there. Somebody having to pick themselves up after, they've been renting this house in New York at $750 a month in New York for 12 years. And the landlord says, we're moving back into our home, so you need to vacate. And about her having to, what am I going to do now? This is my home. I've been here for 12 years, and now what am I going to do? And so her having to pick herself up from that and move on. I kind of related that to a little bit, where the place that we were renting in Solana Beach, the lease was going to be expiring a year. So back in March of 2018, it was March 15th, 2018. And I was sitting there, and like a month or two prior, the landlord had called me to say that they would not be extending my lease the following year, because the person who actually owned it, who was her father, had passed away, and she, as the executor of the estate, said, we need to sell the property, but we're going to honor your lease. And so I knew that I had another year left on the lease at that point, which I was very grateful for. But then March 15th, 2018, I'm sitting there, and Brad had only been gone since September of 2017, and I'm looking around, and I'm looking at all the stuff that's in the living room there, and thinking, oh my gosh, I now have to sort through all the stuff. I've got to pack it all up. I've got to move it, and now I've got to find a place to live. And just going through the thought process of what I would need to do to move into another first of all, find a new place. Second of all, then worry about all the moving stuff, having to transfer over the power and the water and the gas. And I don't want to live in an apartment. I live in a house. When am I going to get it at the same price? And And just all these thoughts just started going through my head, and that's when I turned around and went, screw it, I'm going to sell everything and go live in an RV. And I said that out loud, and all of a sudden I sat up and I'm looking around going, where the hell did that come from? And then I stopped and I thought, that's not such a stupid idea. And I jumped on my laptop. There was an RV show that had started that day but was going through the weekend, and Saturday was St. Patrick's Day. And so Saturday morning I donned on my green t-shirt, that's how I remember the date, and off I went to the RV show, and that started me searching. And then 14 months later I owned Sparkles and moved into her. So you know, when you go through adversities and stuff, there are ways to get out of it. You just have to pause, take some breaths, and think about it. So I like this because I was able to relate to her situation of having to move out of the house that she was in, and just the amount of the anxiety and the stress that I was just working myself into at the thought of having to do this in a year's time. And you know, this was March. My lease ended end of March, but we got it extended through to April, the month of April. But just the thought of what I had to do within the next year, it was just like, so when you get into those mindsets, what is your go-to? I then ended up having a really great conversation with a very good friend of mine. We've really got to put timers on the phone when her and I get on the phone. We're sitting there, we're having great conversations, ideas are flowing, we're talking things out. And she recently lost, her husband recently passed a few months ago, about 4 months ago. And so as soon as I found out he had passed, I'm like, what can I do? You need anything? I'm there. I've been through the situation. If you need to talk anything out, I understand it. I get it. What do you need? And so we were on this call last night, and we were going backwards and forwards about emotions and all of that. And then we're coming up with great ideas and stuff, and different marketing ideas and things. And she has got such an amazing brain. And then we suddenly looked at the time, and I said, you realize it? I said, you're on Pacific time, I'm on Central time, it's midnight. We've been talking for 2 hours. It was another 30 minutes. She says, oh my gosh, we need to get off the phone. And I said, yup. And we talked for another 30 minutes before we finally did. My phone had gone to low battery, and I was able to plug it in during the conversation. Just before we got off the phone, hers was down to 2%. So we had a great conversation. So it was like 1 o'clock before I finally got to bed, and then to get woken up at 3:15 this morning with the thunderstorms coming through, not get back to sleep till 5, and then I was awake at 7:30. I woke up at 7:30 with a start, like, oh, there's stuff I have to do. I've got a busy day today. I've got to get going. So we're operating on a very full day with not a lot of sleep, but we're going to get there. We're going to do it. We're going to push through and get it done. And I am praying that tonight will be a quiet night, and we will get no interruptions from the weather, but the weather will do what it has to do, and we will just work around it. Where am I going tomorrow? Because tomorrow I'm also driving. And where am I going tomorrow? No clue. All I know is I'm getting back on the 70, and I'm heading west towards Colorado Springs. I've got a whole bunch of people there that can't wait. They're like little kids. They're like, are you here yet? Are you here yet? Which cracks me up every time, because I just think of kids sitting in the backseat going, are we there yet? But love these people dearly. Some of them I have never met in person, but I have had conversations with them on the phone, on Zooms. I've masterminded with some of these people. They are incredible, incredible people, and I can't wait to actually meet them in person. So that's going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun. So every time I hear, are you here yet? Are you here yet? So now I've been able to tell them I'll be arriving in town on Monday or Tuesday. I haven't decided which day yet. So they now know I'm going to be there next week. So 3 or 4 sleeps to go, and I will be in Colorado Springs, which I am really looking forward to, because apparently they have some really good walking trails too. And so my boots are now broken in from all the walking I've been doing around the campgrounds and stuff. The ability to walk uphill though, that's something I still gotta work on. I get very winded walking uphill, so I'm still working on that. But there haven't been a lot of hills around lately for me to practice on. Yeah, that's something I have to work on. But I know that the time I get to spend in Colorado Springs is going to be amazing, and I get to take Zeffie on some of the trails with me too. She loves when we were in Arkansas, and the EVs took me to the waterfalls there. We actually had to walk downhill to get to the base of these waterfalls, because you go in there and it's like flat land. And you're like, where the heck, waterfalls? And we had to walk downhill to see the waterfalls, and then we had to walk back up again. And I said to I said to Brittany, I said, man, I am not used to walking on hills. I gotta work up my steam on this one. But Zephy had a blast. She loved it. She loved exploring. She was pretty good at staying on the track, but she had a blast walking around and exploring. And so I'm eager to get on the track with her and see what we do. But anyway, so complete sidetrack. So for your mindset, it's what is your go-to when those emotions hit you, when you're suddenly overcome with overwhelm, with sadness, with grief, with loss, with loneliness. What is your go-to to help you get through that? Have an emergency kit set up. One of the techniques I have is the breathing, is doing that to slow down. Other ones is journaling is another one that I use. This has now been added to my emergency book because I read a thing in here last night and I was like, wow, this is really cool. I feel a lot better now. And so it did help. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. I thought I got rid of all the tickles in my nose. So, what do you have in your emergency go-to kit for when the negative emotions hit you and you want to get back into balance again? You want to get back to your super fantastic sparkling self. So what helps you get back there? On the business side, today is all about Follow-Up Friday. It's what clients have you had appointments with this week? Have you followed up with them since those appointments? Have you sent them quotes that you need to follow up on? When did you last follow up with them? Is it time to turn around and have that monthly touch with them again, just to check in, to say, hi, how are you? So it's all about the follow-up today. Clients, vendors, peers, just reach out. Where did you leave your last meeting with them, your last interaction with them, and do that. And for Fun Fact Friday, I have 2 fun facts for you. And these ones were just like, oh, I gotta share these ones. Today's all about Fun Fact Friday, so go find some fun facts. So I've got 2. One's about America, about apple pie, and one is about unicorns. Who knew there were fun facts about unicorns and apple pie? So this one, it's let's see, this is on Good Housekeeping. They had 35 fun facts. And this one was, apple pie isn't actually American at all. And I was like, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go, it's American. But it says, and I'm reading this off the thing over here, the next time you call something as American as apple pie, you might want to consider the fact that neither apple pies nor apples originally came from America. Apples are in fact native to Asia. I was like, And the first recorded recipe for apple pie was actually written in England. So there you go. Now, I will say this. You have different varieties of apple pies. So there may be an American version of an apple pie, which you could say American is apple pie when you're talking about an American apple pie. But if it's a version that wasn't created here in America, then you got to be, it's sort of like, I understand that some countries will take, apple pie, well, let me go and twist it a little bit so we can have our own type of apple pie. So I don't know about the original apple pie recipe and what it involved or anything, but I thought that was kind of interesting. And then the unicorn. The unicorn is the national animal of Scotland. And if you have a look at the crest of Scotland, the unicorn is actually on there. And it says, yes, although it's a fabled creature, the national animal of Scotland is actually the mythical unicorn, chosen because of its association with dominance and chivalry, as well as purity and innocence in Celtic mythology. So that is another cool little fact. I thought, I like that one, because it's associated with dominance and chivalry, as well as purity and innocence. I love unicorns. In fact, one of the EB girls, her favorite colors is rainbow and unicorns. That's her favorite color, rainbows and unicorns. I like that. And she has unicorn motifs in her room. She even has a unicorn bathrobe. She's all about the unicorns and the rainbow colors. Absolutely delightful. I love it. And I have many friends who enjoy unicorns as well. And I've got a very good friend who received a Princess Sparkle, a My Little Pony called Princess Sparkle. And Princess Sparkle was actually a unicorn that came with a rainbow cape. So, and he has also received many other things related to rainbows to unicorns from me as well, including a unicorn tape dispenser that has rainbow colored tape on it. That was kind of cute. I liked that one. So there's a lot of cool stuff out there. And my favorite one was I gave him a t-shirt that said unicorns are awesome. I am awesome, therefore I am a unicorn. So yeah, there's all sorts of fun stuff. So so that one I had to mention because I have a lot of friends who love unicorns, and I love apple pie. So that was the other reason I mentioned that one as well. So what are your fun facts that you find today? Put your fun facts in the comments down below so we can see them, or message them to me. Either. I want to find, I love learning fun facts because you never know when they're going to come up, or they will be useful in a conversation or some way to break an ice. I mean, can you imagine going into a networking meeting and somebody's born, you go, and you know the conversation is drabbing around, and you just pipe up and go, did you know that apple pie is not American? Or throwing a fun fact in there like that, or turning around and saying that, now this one I have known for a while, but did you know that the 100 folds in a chef's hat represents 100 ways to cook an egg? So the that pleated hat that they wear, which is called a toque, T-O-Q-U-E, it's pronounced toque, has 100 folds. According to Reluctant Gourmet, the pleats used to signify a chef's level of experience, like the number of ways he or she knows how to prepare eggs. Oh, there's 100 ways to prepare eggs? I gotta learn. So then maybe I will qualify to have my 100 pleats in a toque as well. But you know, they're great things to use as icebreakers, and you can have a lot of fun with them. So find some fun facts today, post them in the comments below, private message them to me, post them on your own wall, and you just go, hey, it's Fun Fact Friday. Did you know? Blah, 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 blah. And post the fun fact there. But have fun with it today. So your mindset, what is your go-to emergency kit for when you have those difficult moments that you're trying to get through emotionally, when you're having those difficult emotions that you're trying to work through? Your business is all about Follow-Up Friday today. Are you following up with your clients? Are you following up with your vendors? Are you following up with your peers? And then the fun thing is all about fun facts. It's Fun Fact Friday. So find some cool fun facts, follow up with some clients today on those quotes and stuff, and if you don't have an emergency, an emotional emergency kit, create one. Have a super fantastic sparkling day, and we will catch you guys later. He konera.